Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be speaking about the National Environmental Education Foundation. And joining us is Sara Espinoza, who is the president and CEO. Welcome, Sara. And what is the National Environmental Education Foundation?
Well, thank you for having me. The National Environmental Education Foundation is a nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C., although we have employees all over the country now, thanks to the pandemic. We're a congressionally chartered nonprofit organization. So we were actually created by an act of Congress as a sister organization to EPA, which means we operate as an independent, private nonprofit organization, but we were created to complement the mission of EPA. And our mission is to make the environment more accessible, relatable, relevant, and connected to the daily lives of all Americans. So we really focus our work on helping people understand environmental issues, how they're impacted by environmental issues, and also to help them take action that improves their own health and the health of the planet. And our work focuses in a few main areas: K-12 education, health, and conservation.
Wow. Well, that's one heck of a goal there, or project. How do you do that?
So as I mentioned, our programs span K-12 education, health, and conservation. We focus on lifelong learning. A lot of people hear environmental education and they think of kids, but we really focus on all ages. Our work in the K-12 education space is focused on what we call greening STEM, which is using the environment as a compelling way to get young people interested in science, technology, engineering, and math. The way we do that is we support projects at the community level that engage young people, primarily middle schoolers, in investigating real-world environmental issues in their communities. That can be looking at water quality or air quality or in other environmental impacts, actually collecting data and developing their own solutions to those problems. Our health work is largely focused on working with healthcare providers, so helping them understand how the environment impacts our health and being able to talk with parents and caregivers about those impacts. And finally, our conservation work is really focused on public lands and not only getting people out to parks and green spaces to enjoy them, but also mobilizing people to take care of those places through volunteerism.
Wow. Quite a scope of activity. So what do you consider to be the main environmental challenge that we're facing, today?
Certainly, I think climate change is a major challenge that we're all facing, and it has many tentacles, right? It's a big overarching issue, but it impacts a number of things in our daily lives. Everything from extreme weather events, heat waves, floods, impacts on our health. In fact, we just had a really terrible bout of air quality here in Washington, D.C., thanks to the Canadian wildfires. As well as our mental health, right? We are experiencing climate change and learning about climate change in real time, and that can impact us in terms of how we process those emotions, in addition to sort of the more physical and environmental impacts of that issue.
Yeah. Sara, what's the biggest challenge of getting your message out?
One of the biggest challenges, I think, is just reach, right? Finding the right channels and avenues to get information to people, and certainly to get information to people through individuals and organizations that they trust. So certainly NEEF puts a lot of information and resources out to the public, but we also work through partners to get messages out around environmental issues. So we have partnerships with the National Hockey League to talk with young people about environmental issues in their communities. We have a partnership with iHeartRadio to create short radio spots that go out across all of their stations. So thinking about some of those unique opportunities to work with other trusted entities and voices out there is one of the ways that we tackle that challenge.
Very good. When you're out and about in the community, just informally, and you bump into someone and they ask what you do and you tell them, what's the main question that you get?
I often get asked how people can get involved or what they can be doing in their own community. And one of the things that I often point to is one of our major events, which is National Public Lands Day. It takes place every year on the fourth Saturday in September. And it is a national volunteer event to mobilize people to get out into parks and public lands and help improve those spaces. And just to give you a sense, over the past several years, including the pandemic, we've had hundreds of thousands of volunteers, thousands of events, and millions of dollars of work done on that single day that really supports our federal public lands agencies all the way down to state and local lands in tackling projects that might take them months to do on their own. So really, I'd love to give people something very actionable that they can do to protect their environment and get involved with NEEF.
Very good. Now, for someone who may be in Ventura County and interested in getting involved in some way, is there a way they can reach out to local representatives?
Sure. So the best way to find information about National Public Lands Day as well as NEEF is through our website. It's neefusa.org. For the event in particular, we have an interactive map that's available every year where people can find events that are happening in their own community. It's searchable by zip code and city and other parameters. So that's an easy way to connect with local happenings. The other thing I'll mention is that we run a number of grant programs. So in addition to running our own programs, we put funding out in the community to support environmental education. And oftentimes, you can also find information about what might be happening in your community through our grants programs.
Very good. Now, Sarah, we're just about out of time here. I wonder if you could just present the website one more time so viewers can find out more. But also, is there a summating message you might have for the viewers?
Sure. Our website, one more time, is NEEF, NEEFusa.org. And I think the summating message I would deliver is that we all have a role to play in protecting the environment and improving the communities where we live. And that can be from a very small role, taking simple actions at home to save water or save energy, to a much larger role in terms of how we choose our careers or what we do in our communities. So I think what's really important to NEEF is that we lead with people and really focus on how people can help improve our health and our planet.
Thank you. Very well said. So we're going to end off here. This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.